So here's the awful news, guys, and I'm going to give it to you straight out of the gate. Take a look at this graphic right next to me. U.S. home prices have now hit a new record high where the median home price is now just over $433,000. And if that's not bad enough, take a look at this graphic. The median home price just in the state of California now has surpassed a whopping $900,000. This is sheer madness, and I'm going to give you guys a massive reality check near the end of this video that'll hopefully help some of you out, so make sure you stay tuned all the way through. What's going on, my YouTube friends? This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of real quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the U.S. economy, the U.S. real estate market, and specifically the Las Vegas real estate market, then make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. Number two, if you happen to like the content in today's video, make sure to press that thumbs up like button, guys. That would really help the channel out. And number three, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. So the problem with this economy, and especially the housing market, comes down to three things. Number one, inflation, which has completely destroyed our purchasing power. Number two, corporate greed, which has made things completely unaffordable for millions of Americans. And number three is consumer demand, or what I call FOMO spending, which is fear of missing out, which is one of the biggest drivers as to why prices throughout the entire economy are so high. Now, when we drill down specifically into the U.S. housing market and trying to buy a normal home, the math simply doesn't make sense anymore, as you're about to see.
So first, let's go back to the median U.S. housing price over the past 50 years, up to 2022. Now, add income onto it. Yeah. Let's go back about 50 years and look at a couple whose household income is exactly the national U.S. median at that time. In 1972 money, about $10,000. Imagine, right? They want to buy a house. The median U.S. home price at that time was about $29,000. That is about 3 times their income. Now let's go 50 years forward and run those numbers for 2022. Median income, median home price. This house is more than 6 times this household's income. So that is what we're looking at when we go back to that chart of income and housing prices, again, adjusted for inflation, and compare this gap to this gap.
So as you can see, housing affordability has basically gone out the window in today's world for the average person. In fact, it's so bad that I want to show you more specifically in this next graphic just how bad it really is. All right, so I wanted to first start off with this graphic because this is really pretty shocking. I'm going to show you a little bit more detail on that map just below this headline, but take a look at the headline where it says annual salary to afford a median price home in 50 states and the District of Columbia. The first line right underneath it says aspiring homeowners must earn at least $100,000 to afford a median price home in 22 states and the District of Columbia in 2024. At the start of 2020, only 6 states in the District of Columbia required a 6-figure salary to afford a median price home. Now here's where it really gets pretty shocking. Take a look just underneath it. You can see on the left side it says January 2024 and on the right January 2020. And you can see the map of the United States in different colors down below. So what I want to do is I want to show you how much you had to earn as an income in 2020, and then I'm going to switch over to the January 2024 and then go right back to that same state to show you how much more you need to be earning in each of these states. Now, I'm not going to go through all of them, but I just want to show you the vast differences in terms of what you needed to earn as a salary to afford the median home price in 2020 versus now in 2024. All right, so let's pick a state up here in the Northeast. Let's pick New York, right up here in the top right. You can see right there that little black box that popped up. In 2020, you needed to earn $111,000 to afford the median home price in New York. Now watch what happens. I'm going to go over here, click January 2024, come back to New York. Now look at the number. Now you need to earn $148,000 in New York to afford the average home price. All right, so let's go down to the far southeast. Let's go to Florida. So let's click there. In 2020, you can see the black box that popped up right there for Florida. You needed to earn about $72,000 to afford the median home price back in 2020. So let's swing it back up over here, click January 2024, come all the way back down to Florida. Now look what you need to earn. Almost $115,000. That's a very big jump. So a lot of these states that I'm going to show you, you need about a 30 to 50% salary increase in the last 4 years just to afford where the median home price is now. So let's do this. Let's go over here, back to January 2020. Let's go over to Texas. So in Texas, you needed to earn about $77,000 in 2020. Now let's swing back up here, click January 2024. Let's swing back to Texas. Now look what you need to earn. $100,000 to afford the median home price. All right, so let's go over here to Hawaii. Right down here in Hawaii, you needed to earn about $127,000 a year to afford the median home price back in 2020. Now let's go back up here, click January 2024, go back to Hawaii. Now look what you need to earn. $185,000. Now let's swing back over here to January 2020. Now let's go over to California. In California, you can see that box that popped up. $133,000 was the average income that you needed to afford the median home price in California. Now, if we go back up, click January 2024, go back to California. Now you need almost $200,000 for income. So what else can you really say, guys? This just proves how shocking and how awful it is out there for people trying to buy just the average price point. When you see that people have to make 30, 40, 50, 60% more in income just to afford the average home, just compared to a few years ago. This is a complete disaster. And in my opinion, there's no way this is sustainable without first seeing a correction. And I think that's going to potentially happen after we get through the election into early 2025. Now, just to drill down a little bit deeper to where I'm located here in Las Vegas, I want to show you guys some absurd price projections, as well as some extreme examples of overpricing. Let's take a look at that right now. All right, so since I'm located here in the Las Vegas area, which happens to be one of the most popular places that people are moving to in the country, I just saw this article come out the other day showing some price projections, which is absolutely stunning and, in my opinion, never going to happen. But take a look at the headline right there. It says Nevada houses second most expensive in USA by 2030. So take a look at that blue highlighted sentence right next to me. I'm going to read it to you guys if you can't see it. It says, however, the average price of buying a Nevada house would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. That places the Silver State second in their rankings. And what's even more ridiculous is this blue highlighted sentence just above it, where it says what they found was that Nevada houses would be very difficult for someone with an average income to afford. By 2030, they figure Nevada's average personal income would be $48,369. And if you think that's bad, take a look at this top sentence here that I highlighted in blue, where it says, if you think that's expensive, imagine trying to buy a house in Hawaii. The average home price in the Aloha State in 2030 is expected to hover around $1.4 million. The average personal income that year is projected at $61,000. So based on the projections of this article, and I have no idea where they came up with this information, they think Hawaii will be the #1 most expensive state to own a home by 2030. Nevada will be #2. And if you look at this blue highlighted sentence again right at the top, it says California ranks 3rd in this smartsurvey.com report. But wait, there's more. Utah #4, Idaho #5, Montana #6, Colorado #7, Oregon #8, and Arizona #10, finishing all but one position in the top 10. So my personal opinion on this article is that it's complete nonsense, because anytime anyone or any group tries to project price points about 5 or 6 years from now, whether it's the real estate market, the stock market, gold, silver, cryptocurrency, none of them are accurate, because no one has a crystal ball, especially that far out. So in my opinion, we are never going to see home prices, especially here in the Las Vegas area where I happen to be located, come out to about $1 million in about 5.5 years from now. All right, so now I'm on the popular real estate website Zillow that most of you guys are familiar with, and I wanted to show you a few examples of homes for sale here in the Las Vegas area where I happen to be located, starting in the luxury price category and then working down closer to the average price point, just to show you a few examples here of homeowners and investors that are trying to get some outrageous prices for their homes. So let's take a look at this first example. You can see on the left side of the screen, this is a luxury home. It's listed at $1.775 million. They just did a price cut. You can see in that small red text just above the actual price point of about $100,000 right at the end of March. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,600 square foot home. But more importantly, I want to show you guys the price history down below and what this home was sold for just a couple of years ago compared to what it is right now. All right, so take a look down at the bottom of the screen here in this blue highlight. Down on the bottom left there, the date says 12/13/2021. So that's about 2.5 years ago. You can see on the right side of the blue highlight that this home sold for just over $1 million. In fact, it was $1,023,000 actually. But if we take a look just above it, right there, you see on the left side, it says 3/1/2024. So almost 2.5 years later, they listed the home for sale for $1.875 million, or almost an 84% increase in the price in 2.5 years. Now you can see just above it, the date says 3/30/2024. They did a price reduction of $100,000, so now it's down to $1.775 million. So I know most people obviously can't afford a $1.775 million home, but regardless if it's a $1.7 million home or it's a $400,000 or $500,000 home, when we see this kind of price appreciation where homeowners and investors especially are trying to get almost 100% return on the purchase price in just 2 years, that makes absolutely no sense. In the history of real estate, that's never happened. In terms of getting that kind of appreciation, it used to take 20 or 25 years for that to happen, not 2, 3, or 4 years. So again, regardless if you're a buyer at this level or you're an average price point buyer, you should never just acquiesce to the price that these sellers are offering for their home, because again, in my opinion, a lot of these are not true value and they're massively overpriced. All right, so now let's take a look at this second example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. Now we're definitely coming down closer to the average median price point, which in Las Vegas stands right now at about $470,000. Now this is still a little bit above it, but I wanted to show you this example for a specific reason. You can see on the left side of the screen, this home is currently listed at $650,000. They just did a price cut of about $25,000 just a few weeks ago. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,700 square foot home. But again, I want to show you the price history down below on what's happened on this list price in just the last couple of months. All right, so again, focus your attention down here in the bottom of the screen. Down in that blue highlight right here in the bottom left, the date right there says 4/16/2024. So this is about 6 weeks ago when this home was originally listed. You could see the price on the right side of the blue highlight. The list price originally was $720,000. If we look just above it, it got reduced to $675,000 and now $650,000. So this home has been reduced in the last 6 weeks, $70,000. And if we go up a little bit higher here, we take a look at the estimated market value right here in the upper left side. The way Zillow estimates this, they actually have it even lower, down at $634,000. So let's just stop and think about this for a second. About 6 weeks ago, the sellers had this home originally listed for $720,000. It's now down to $650,000. Zillow has it estimated at about $634,000. So at the end of the day, this home is probably going to be an $80,000 to possibly a $100,000 price reduction before it likely sells. Now, this is why I keep saying this to you guys. You don't want to just bid on a home just because the sellers or the investors are putting that price on the home. You want to get a real estate agent that can run comps for you and get an appraisal done to make sure you're looking at the true value of the home and not just because what the sellers are asking for is something you're going to actually pay. All right, so let's take a look at this third and final example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. You can see on the left side of the screen that this home is currently listed at $465,000, which is just about the average median home price now here in the Las Vegas area. Just above that in the small red text, you can see that it says price cut of $35,000 about 2 weeks ago. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,500 square foot home. But again, I want to show you down below the price history on how much this home has been reduced in a short period of time. All right, so focus your attention again down at the bottom of the screen in this blue highlight. Down in the bottom left right there, the date says 4/27/2024. So that's a little bit over a month ago. This home was originally listed, you can see, for $525,000. They have not been able to find a buyer, so they did their first price reduction. You can see just above it at $522,000. Then they did it again at $509,000. Then they went down to $499,000, and then they went to $465,000. Now, if we go up a little bit higher here to the estimated market value, Zillow actually has it right there in the upper left. You can see at $455,000. All right, so let's just go backwards for a second here. A little bit over a month ago, this home was originally listed for sale for $525,000. It's now been reduced all the way down to $465,000, and Zillow has it estimated at $455,000. So if we just go by those numbers alone, this again is another $70,000 price reduction on an average price point home here in the Las Vegas area. So again, the reason I keep telling this to you guys is that there are a lot of sellers and especially investors that are just far too aggressive, trying to get a price that they know that they're not going to likely get, but they're trying to find a naive buyer that's just willing to pay whatever they want. Again, some of the buyers are finally starting to smarten up and not just bid any price on any of these homes. So again, there's a lot of price reductions that are happening, more so than you think, when sellers and especially investors are too aggressive on their original list price. So here's the big reality check, guys. Now, this may sound harsh, but this is really the truth for all of us. The priority in all of our lives is freedom. That's what we all really want. But what does the vast majority of people do? They burden their lives with pursuits and purchases that do just the opposite. Do yourself a favor and think before you spend, and I guarantee you're going to cut down on a lot of expenses and be in a much better position financially. So before we end today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video, and that goes to Christian. Now wait till you see Christian's comments here. I'm going to put them up on full screen and then come back on the other side and comment on it. So Christian wrote, 2023 was my first year making $100K. Definitely does not feel like I have a lot of financial freedom like I thought I would, making six figures. Feeling like this as mid-20s, single male, no kids, wife, etc., and money still feels tight. So that's pretty shocking and sad all at the same time. I want to hear from you guys. I want you to drop me a comment down below. I read and respond to all of my comments. I want to hear what you guys think about that $100,000 income mark. Do you feel financially free, or do you feel like money is still tight, and why do you feel that way? And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct on-screen shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. You know, I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the economy and the real estate market. So here's the deal, guys. When it comes to buying things, especially things you don't need, just don't buy them, especially high ticket items right now, like homes and cars. I definitely think homes and cars are going to come down in price after the election when we get into 2025. That's when I think the economy is going to finally start to hit rough water. Now, I know everybody's circumstances are different, especially when it comes to home buying. Some people can wait things out. That, in my opinion, is the best option. If you can't wait things out and you are thinking about buying a home, try to get a good deal if you can. If you are thinking about buying a home, especially here in the Las Vegas area, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When that time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I'll see you in the next video.